weeks ago, I actually just posted my new updated apartment tour. As I was showing it off, I got a whole bunch of video requests and DMs on my Instagram asking me how I made this DIY neon sign right behind me. Right now, it says work it, but we customized it to make it whatever we wanted, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how we went through the process and what we did to make the sign. So hopefully if you're interested in making your own sign, then you can follow along.
Neon signs have been around for a while, but more recently it's been making a comeback and trending at a lot of weddings, cool bars, and used just as home decor.
I originally actually got a work it sign on Etsy a while ago, and I wanted to order it because I thought it would just be easier. But when it came here, I was actually really disappointed. I got a little neon sign that was so tiny, it just wouldn't have looked very good with this space behind me. I actually had no idea, but neon signs are actually super expensive. They can actually go all the way up to $500+, especially if you want a really big sign behind it like this one. So I decided I should just make it myself, and luckily I have an amazing engineer fiance who said he'd help me. And so I'm going to introduce you guys to him right now.
Before I introduce you to Kevin, let's start off with the basics. Here are all the materials we used to make this DIY neon sign. Neon LED strip lights, a 3D printer, Sketch or Photoshop, screws for the wall, and a soldering iron.
Alright, introducing you to my handy dandy engineer, Kevin!
Hey guys, I'm Kevin. I am the engineer fiance. So the most important thing that you need for this neon sign is the thing that actually makes the light. And that's this neon flex material, which we'll link in the description of this YouTube. Basically what this does is an LED strip inside silicone, and it just projects all the light outside. The very nice thing about this is that it bends really easily. So you need that if you're doing fancy writings like Tiffany likes to use for these signs. Another important description of this that is definitely needed, it cuts into 1-inch segments. So there's little black lines that you basically can cut on, and that allows you to make different shaped lines, which allows you to more easily create your sign.
Back to me. I am your designer for this portion of the video, and with every neon sign it's really important obviously for it to look really nice. But I use an app called Sketch, and that's a design app that I already use for work, and it's great for designers, but you can also use other applications such as Photoshop. And really what I did was I wanted to find a perfect font for it. So I actually Googled some fonts online, and I decided to go for this font called Gardenia Summer. It's this really cool font that you can download for free, and I thought that it looked good, but it was also really minimalist, and it was also very legible, which is very important because you want to make sure that when you're standing somewhere far away that the words are easy to read. The next important thing was I also decided to kind of scale up and blow up this sign. What you could actually do is you could go to a FedEx and you can print it on a huge poster board. You kind of have to spend more money for that, and we're all about saving costs right now. So what we did instead is we wanted to print it out ourselves. And what we did was we took a bunch of different grid sizes and we used it so that it could kind of be a grid system where you can print out 12 different pieces of paper, and there's little sections of the work it sign on it. But then when you put it together on the wall, it's like a puzzle piece that you could put together, and it ends up being this huge sign. And we use that as a stencil for Kevin to basically build his LED lights and use it as a shape for it. Back to the engineer.
So after we get kind of the paper design of how the sign looks, we use these black 3D printed guides, and we screw them into the wall at the various portions of the paper sign.
Kevin used a 3D printer to make black pieces that would hold the neon LED tube. If you can find anything else to use instead of this, feel free to. There's more than one way to do this. After that, he cut up the neon LED tube and bent it to the shape of each letter. This neon tube was placed inside the black pieces he 3D printed. Last but not least is the difficult engineering magic. Since Kevin cut up the LED tube before, that meant he disconnected the wires inside it, which meant the lights wouldn't turn back on unless he reconnected it again.
And once you cut them, then you have to talk about wiring. Kind of hard to see, but there are two pads that you solder wire to. So that does require a soldering iron and a little bit of experience with doing that.
It's this tool that heats up so you can melt and fuse metal back together. We use this tool to reconnect the wires again. And finally, we plugged the sign into the wall when it was all finished, and voila! That's how we made our DIY neon sign.
The cool thing about this sign is we decided to go the extra mile. I can't say it out loud because she'll just start talking, but to give you a little demo, let's hear it. Hey Alexa, turn on the work it sign. Magic!
There are so many ways to make this DIY neon sign, and ours might be complicated, but I just wanted to share with you how we did it. I know I looked at a ton of other videos before I figured out what worked for us. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. Please give this a like if you can, and comment below if this was helpful for you. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!